Hi, this is Paul with the Oaken Knight, and you're getting a special bonus this month. I did a review of Bar-Lev earlier this week, and I still even have the map up on the table, and lo and behold, I had Kernstown show up at my door. Kernstown is the fourth installment in the Blind Sword series that began with Stonewall Sword, published by Revolution Games, and designed by Herman Luttman. So for today, I'm just going to do a quick unboxing to show you what's in there, see if there's anything different or noteworthy. So let's take a look. The reverse of the box gives a little bit of insight what we're going to see. We see our map, which looks very consistent with the other entries into the series, along with some sample units, and it looks like we got a little color treatment on some of these guys. I see a Stonewall in color and Generals Crook and Early also in color. All right. The rest of the counters, I don't see anything new on there. This may very well be just a refinement rather than, breaking new ground. But hey, it's got first and second Kernstown in there from 1862 and 1864. And let's take a look at what we got in the box. I guess the first thing you should know is that I did not remove the cellophane on this box. Basically, Revolution Games does not put cellophane on their boxes. They put it in a handy-dandy plastic bag to protect it, and they stick it in the priority mailbox from the USPS with some styrofoam peanuts and such, and out it goes. So it arrived in perfect shape, no issues, no problems. Well, what we see inside the box for starters is some big honking dice. These are pretty good size six-sided dice. And let's see, we got us a time record track, and it looks like, okay, it's telling you the specific start times for the various scenarios. And okay, looks like the Union may have to exit some guys for victory points. That's all good. And the usual broken box. I see nothing new or different there from the other entries into the system. Player A card, consistent with the others in beautiful living black and white. Brigade Order details, same orders as before. Again, you don't write your orders in this system, you designate them, and it works rather well. I enjoy this. For more details, you can see I reviewed Thunder in the Ozarks. That's out there, and so I certainly dug into that in way more detail than I'm going to do at this point here. General casualties, that can be a big deal if you lose a valuable leader. It can change a battle. Let's see, rallies and stacking. Okay, all good stuff. And the sequence of play. All right. Artillery phase, should draw, brigade. It all looks, it's the same system. No changes that I can spot, which is a good thing. It didn't need changing. All kind of special events that can happen in the, see, command confusion, firefight, rally, good ground. All right, I like good ground. Let's see. Fatigue, heroic stand. Basically, they put a lot of flavor in this system by how you have the possibility of having these special events happen during the game, and sometimes it's a historical thing where they're triggering a historical event, or sometimes it's just more of a tactical event that probably happens at several points in the battle. Here's the cohesion hit table along with casualties for both melee and just regular fire combat. So you have the fire combat table, close combat table. This is all identical to the previous games in the system. I think, at least I had problems figuring out what they meant by angled terrain in the Ozarks game. Maybe it looks like they might have clarified it here, because I don't think I was the only one. I eventually figured it out, and I think I explained that in my earlier review of that game. But I think that this looks more clear than what I was used to seeing in the Ozarks game. Okay, second copy, and with what do we got here? We have combat results. Okay, so that's right. So you roll on the combat results table, and it gives you a classification of a no result, green, yellow, red. The deeper into the stoplight you go, the redder you get, the nastier it gets, and that will take you to this table. And depending on whether you had a green, yellow, or red result, and whether it happened in fire combat or melee combat, you will pick the appropriate table. Roll 2d6 again, the color die being the column, or this column, and the white die being the skedaddle result, depletion result, skedaddle result. It all is coming back. Again, look at my Ozarks review. You'll see that in a lot more detail. Let's see, here's another copy of the special events and such. And here's the rule book. And I'm just looking at, do a quick look. It looks at 2019 dated, so it looks like it's been updated. Got the scenario stuff in back. Looks like several scenarios. Designer's notes, all good stuff. And looks like we got 19 pages of rules, which by memory, that sounds about right. It did not have a huge rule book, but it had all the rules it needed. Basically, there are some notes and maybe some examples, but no pictures, diagrams, except for one little one telling you what the numbers on the counters are. So this is not like GMT or Compass games that gives you an incredible number of examples and pictures of what's going on. It's pretty much text. But I didn't have problems learning the Ozarks game. I doubt I'll have trouble with this one. Counters, again, except for having a few leaders in color, it looks about the same. I don't see much different here. So again, here's your special events that get pulled out of the cup. This is a chit draw system. And these are brigades because they share the same color. So that's Garnett's Brigade, Burke's Brigade, and then the actual regiment. So 4th Virginia, that's your attack factors. That's the ammo type. That would be smooth bores. And I think that's the cohesion rating. That tells you how tough they are. Bigger is better, as I recall. Leaders that get pulled out of the cup for activation. Chit draw system. Okay, low ammo, more chits to draw out of the cup. And what do we have on sheet number 2? Well, we've got more brigades. And remember, there's 2 games in here separated by 2 years. We have an 1862 Kernstown and an 1864 Kernstown. So we have two completely different orders of battle, I assume. One has, they have to be independent of each other if they're going to be separated by 2 years. Whole different cast of characters. You know, in the second one, Jackson is long gone, and he ain't there to help out. All right, the map. And here's a quick pan of the map so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Again, looks very consistent with what came before. Very nice, very functional. This is going to be a pleasure to look at. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, let me just tell you, we live in the golden age of wargaming. We live in the golden age of wargaming. The old SPI days, the old Avalon Hill days, even the Victory Games days were nothing like this. Look at the wonderful things that we get to play with. You know, it looks really nice. But you know, I can see one difference right away is that it looks like they made the elevation markers much more obvious. In the Ozarks game, they were pretty subtle. They were subtle. Once you got used to them, you could find them. But my gaming buddy, it drove him crazy. I thought it was stylistic. I kind of liked it. This one is more kind of in your face, but from a functional point of view, it's much more practical, no doubt. So I know this has got to be with it. This has got to be elevation. Like you can see, it's lower by the river, and as you get away from the river, you start going up. And over here, you go from elevation 2 to elevation 4, so you have a steep slope, making a lot of sense. So, and you know, just to make things even more interesting, I also had this bad boy show up in my mailbox this week. Of course, this is Death Valley by GMT. Continuation of the Great Battles of the American Civil War series, and it's got like 7 games in it. It looks amazing. I haven't even opened the shrink yet, but it also contains the first and second battles of Kernstown. So could there be a comparative review coming? It's possible. So that's what's in the box for Kernstown. This is Paul from the Oak and Night giving you a quick pop the box video for the Kernstown American Civil War series, volume 4. Thank you much, guys. Have a good evening.